So today I've got one of the most anticipated clutches I've been working towards. Both of these animals I've produced myself, the male and the female. So I've produced plenty of males before that have actually gone on and made clutches, but this is the first time one of the females I've produced has actually come around to actually being able to lay, which is it's huge for me basically. So the pairing today is my pastel blackhead. It's 100% het for clown, and it's 50% het for hypo. Dad to this was my pastel blackhead 100% het hypo that I've used for pretty much all of my blackhead stuff. And the dad was originally paired just to a straight clown. One of the clowns that I've had for probably about 5-6 years now. She's amazing. She does really well with her clutches. But this is actually a het pairing. So that pastel blackhead het clown pos het hypo I've got, I've paired to a pastel het clown. Now I'm not a huge fan of doing het pairings. It's not that I'm against it, it's just I like to know for myself my own animals are 100% het rather than 66, 50%, whatever it is. Sometimes I don't really care about the genes that I'm working with, like this one's pos het hypo. I'm not too fussed about that at this point. This is more just for the clown. But yeah, I've got two chances. I am breeding this this male to the original mum as well to try and get some more blackhead clowns. But I thought I've got the het there. I thought I'm just going to go for it. Hopefully the odds will be in my favour. And yeah, if I do get lucky and hit a blackhead clown, then yeah, that'll make the whole lot worthwhile. So yeah, she's laid her eggs. I think there's 5 eggs. I sort of guessed there was going to be 5. She's not a big girl, so I wasn't expecting a huge clutch, but for a first time mum, she's done really well. So I'm going to quickly show you the dad, just because he's a little bit special. I want to show you his brother as well, just so I want to see what you think is going on between these two. So believe it or not, these two are actually siblings. They're from the same clutch, and you can see the difference is ridiculous in size anyway. This guy here is a super finicky eater. At the beginning I used to feed him on live just because that's all he would take, and even then he'd only eat every 2-3 weeks. When he was a small hatchling, he wouldn't eat at all, so he was assist fed, and yeah, he's just been an absolute nightmare. And you can see the size difference. And you see this guy's like the size of my hand. This guy literally fits into my hand. So yeah, this one, he has been an absolute pain, but I'm kind of glad in a way, because it's given me a chance. When these two both come out the egg, they both looked very similar, but there were some slight differences, and you can see on camera there's slight differences. So the heads on them are basically exactly the same. So this is the head on my breeder that I've got, just a pastel blackhead, nothing particularly special about that. And again, this is the head. I'll try and get them sides. There's not a lot of difference, trust me. The heads look the same, the eye stripes are the same, anything like that, the blushing, it's all the same. The only thing that was different about these two was the dorsal stripe. So you can see the dorsal stripe down here, it's quite blotchy, like it doesn't join up in parts, and you'll have a bit here, then you'll have a break, and then round here you can see again it's broken, and then towards the tail end it's basically a complete stripe. When it comes to the other little guy, hold on. This guy's trying to, he's trying to run away. Please don't run away. If you look at this guy, the pattern's completely different. It's almost completely joined all the way down, all the way around his back. You can see it's like that chain linking. I don't know if that's what it's called. But yeah, this guy as well, he just looks a bit cleaner. The blushing on the sides comes up a little bit higher. The alien heads and things like that, they just looked a little bit cleaner than what this one did. And so I was really umming about which one I wanted to hold back and breed. It just so happened that this guy sort of took off on his own, feeds perfectly. And yeah, he ended up being my actual breeder for this. Now I've got a couple of theories about this. So as I said, this was a pastel blackhead, 100% het for hypo, and it was bred straight to a clown. So the chances of these being het, is there 50% pos het when you think about it, because it's a het to nothing, so that's 50%. If it was a het to het, it'd be 66%, if that's correct. I think it is. So yeah, they're 50% het, so they're either het for hypo or they're not. And I'm thinking this guy looks a lot more like the dad. So you think I think this guy is het for hypo. He's obviously 100% het for clown. I think this guy here, just because of the colour, you can see how this guy is really bright, and you can see this guy is like quite dark. I've got a feeling this guy isn't het for hypo, but he's het for clown. Now it could be the other way around, I could be completely wrong. This guy could be double het hypo clown, and this guy could just be het for clown. I'm not going to know, it's one of them things. I could waste time proving out, but like I said, I'm not too bothered about the het hypo at the minute. It just means anything that these produce, I will also have to label as there is a possibility of there being het for hypo. So yeah, be interesting to see what people think. But this guy's, again, he's an absolute nightmare. He's only feeding on live, and he's only eating every 2-3 weeks, so that is why he's so small. And they're probably coming up to, I think they're just under a year old now, these guys. So yeah, it's amazing how much they can grow when they are feeding properly. So this is the mum in question. So this is my pastel, 100% het for clown. I know there are some new rates around. When I know girls are going to lay, I tend to just leave their tubs alone. There's no point cleaning them, because you are going to give them a full scrub and clean anyway, so don't at me about that. But yeah, this is the mum. I produced her in 2018. I actually held her and another pastel het clown back, because I sexed them both at the time. I thought they were both females. I was definitely going to keep them. This is sort of at my earlier stage of breeding, and yeah, it turns out that one of the females is actually a male. So he's up for sale on Morph Market. He's an adult. He's the same sort of size as her. Yeah, he's ready and raring to go. So if you do want to get a pastel het clown male, then yeah, check out my Morph Market. He's up on there. You can see she's been a really good mum, coiled nice and tightly around. I have had a little play and had a look. There are 5 eggs in there. Looks like I've got a boob egg as well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to candle them, make sure they're all good. But before we get her out, I'm just going to quickly show you my incubator. If you haven't seen the way I sort of incubate my eggs and all the things that I do like that, I'll quickly run through I'm doing it, because it is all going to change very soon. So this is my incubator I'm using at the minute. This is just a normal Viv that you can buy. I've had it for donkey's years. I originally had my sulcata tortoise in this until it outgrew it, and now that lives in the house and in the garden. But yeah, this is all I'm using. You can see at the back, I've just got a big heat mat stretched all the way across the back. I've got my thermometer probe just there. You can see that's sort of taped on. And then I've got my little thermometer. So that's how I basically gauge my temperatures for my egg box. And I'll quickly get the egg box out now, just so you can see what I put in my egg box. So I don't use any like vermiculite or anything like that. I just use sponge and water. And you can see over here I've got like a little desktop fan that you can buy. I've got this for about £8 off Amazon. And yeah, that's just slowly circulating the air around. I'm going to be building this eventually. You can see I've got a load of mess down there. It's just stuff that I'm working on. But yeah, this big black thing over here, that is going to be my incubator. I'm just waiting for my 3D printer. As soon as my 3D printer's here, I'll be able to 3D all the parts for that, get the heat cabling, get the doors on, and then that will be my incubator. So yeah, if you're interested in DIY incubator builds, subscribe so you don't miss this. I will be going over this again in full depth as I start building it. But yeah, if you can't build anything like that, again, just get a Viv. They work perfectly. So I'll quickly show you my egg box as well, just because if you've not sort of watched a few of my videos on my channel, then you've probably missed how I do this. But I've sort of messed around with egg boxes all the time. I've had ones where I've built dividers that go in there and things like that to stop the snakes when they're coming in going in, because I've had snakes come out of one egg and push a baby out of another, and that baby dies. And yeah, I've had all sorts. But yeah, this is basically how I do it. So I use the airtight food tubs that you can buy. I do actually drill little holes in the corners, so in all 4 corners I do have little holes drilled, as you can see, just because I want some form of airflow. I'm not too fussed about it too much, but I think some is better than none, if that makes sense. So these are my custom grates that I've made. I 3D print these, basically designed myself. I wanted to get my logo on there, and I think they come out really well. I'm really happy with these. Once I get this down and fine tune and stuff, I may be able to make these for people. So if you are interested in getting your own custom grates for your snake eggs and things like that, hit me up, because that might be something that's coming in the future. So for the substrate, I just use filtration sponge. It's a really coarse sponge, so it doesn't sort of hold any of the material or anything like that. It's just there to prop the eggs up out of the water. And yeah, I'll just pour water in there, and that's it. You can see the water level there. It's nothing scientific, no measurements or anything like that. That's basically all I do, and you can see all the condensation on the side of the tub. It's all building up, holds temps really well. And yeah, that's pretty much it basically. Egg crate I've made goes on top of there. Job's a good one. Yeah, and this is what I've hatched all my eggs on this last season just gone. and I've not had any issues. I've had a few eggs go bad, but that's to be expected. I don't think that's because of this. But yeah, other than that, I'm well happy with that. It can't get much simpler, really. So we're going to slowly peel her off the eggs. She's normally quite docile, so I'm not too worried she is going to hiss at me. Like I said, she is a small girl. Oh dear, it is her first time breeding, so she is quite tired. She's proper giving it her all. I can see all the eggs. Some of them, they're not bad size actually, they're all right. Oh, okay. I know, I'm sorry. It's just I'll do a better job than you, I think. So, this is Mum. She's not too bad body condition wise. You can see she's still got some decent weight to her. Her spine's not sticking out too much, so she's definitely giving it a lot. But I'm quite happy with her body weight. So what I'll do is now I'll get her in a tub. I'll get her to soak, get her to have a nice bit of hydration, have a good drink. Once I've got the eggs all sorted, we'll give all this a good scrub, give it a clean new substrate, and yeah, she'll be good to go. But yeah, there's the eggs. 5, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I can count 5. 5 eggs. So we've got a couple of boob eggs here. So you can see this one's a bit boobified. We've got this one here is like a little bit of a nub on the end. So that's fine. I'm absolutely happy with that. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to quickly candle them. I do have a torch somewhere. I don't know why. I've always done it this way, but I tend to leave the eggs where they are to begin with, and I like to put a little dash on the top. So this is how I know the eggs were laid this way to begin with. Even though I'm going to candle them and all that good stuff, I like to mark them this way first with a little dash, just see which way they were lined up. Then when I do candle them and I have to rotate them, I normally put a little circle over where the embryo is. Yeah, I don't know why, it's just why I've always done it. So I'm going to quickly switch the light out. And this is a bit where the camera is not that great in the dark, so I'm going to try and zoom in as best I can, as far as I can zoom in. So hopefully you can kind of see what I'm seeing. I also like to separate my eggs. Again, I like to sort of make the odds as best in my favour. So I'm going to give these a little candle. So you can see this one, there's no veins or anything. The minute I panicked there and I thought it was a dud egg. But that's just because the egg has rolled basically. So we start to roll it over. You can start to see veins, things like that. I'm not sure if the camera's going to pick it up, but just where my thumb is, you can kind of see this little bit here jiggle, just at the tip of my thumb. So that's where the embryo is. There's like a little air pocket there. And yeah, you can see the veins. There are some good veins there. So I'm going to mark that with a little circle. And that's just so I know that the embryo is there. So I'm going to do that for all the eggs. And then we'll slowly get them transferred over into the egg box. So this is always a breeder's worst nightmare when you come across an egg, you start to candle it and you don't see any veins. I've candled this all over. This is the boob egg, and yeah, I can't find a single vein, not even a tiny little vein. Because I can't find anything, I'm going to leave it the way it is. So the line that I made on the top, I'm going to keep that on the top. I'm just going to turn that to a little cross, so I know that this egg is probably not going to survive just because there's no veins. But I'm going to put it in, just, you never know. You never ever know. I know people that probably just chuck that out straight away, and yeah, I'm probably 99.9% sure that egg's not going to make it. But yeah, you can always stay hopeful. So again, this is a really good one. If I can get the light on it just right, you can see that embryo there, just there. So that big bubble, that's the embryo. Lovely strong veins on that one. So again, put a nice circle on that. And yeah, the last one, beautiful. It's got a nice big, see that little air bubble jiggling around? There he is, lovely strong eggs. So again, a nice little circle on there. So it's a little bit disappointing. Obviously the odds with this clutch, they're not great. I think it's 1 in, oh God, I don't even know. Is it 1 in 32? Something like that, I don't know. So yeah, I've got 4 chances, and that's even if these 4 eggs even make it. So fingers crossed. So I'll quickly show you how to get them in the egg box, and yeah, we'll get them in the incubator. And this is how I lay the eggs out. So sometimes I will put little pegs in here, sometimes I'll put little toothpicks and stuff in just to hold all the eggs around, but these are pretty solid, they're not moving around, so that's all good. This little egg that's going to be the dud, I'm going to leave this over to the side. Because chances are, yeah, it is going to go bad, so I want to try and keep it away. As soon as I start to see this moulding, I will probably go in and put some foot powder on it, give it every possible chance I can, and if that doesn't work, then I'll probably end up taking that egg out, just because I don't want to increase the risk of losing these eggs, because literally every one of these is worth their weight in gold at the minute. Thinking about those odds, I need every single one of these to make it. So yeah. So from there, all I do is I just pop the lid on, pop it in the incubator, or the Viv incubator that I've got, and I just monitor the levels from there. And there they are, they're in. So yeah, it's just a case of checking on this digital thermometer all the time. It has got a min and a max thing on it, so I can see whether the temperatures do drop and things like that. It shows you like the highest temperature it's got and the lowest temperature. So, but it tends to hold. This incubator normally stays around 88.5 to about 89.2. Depends on the weather outside as well. You can see it's creeping outside because I've just closed the door. But yeah, I will just monitor that basically. But yeah, the long 60-day wait begins, and this is going to be one of the longest waits, I think, because this is one of the things I've been working on for the last sort of 2 years. I really want to hit a blackhead clown. Even if I hit one, I'll be happy. That's all I want. I'm not greedy. And I am still hoping that the original mum's going to go as well. I'll quickly show you her. So this is the original mum. As you can see, she's super chunky, proper thick. I have been breeding that pastel blackhead het clown posset hypo to her as well. So this is the original mum. Hoping again to sort of increase my chances of getting a blackhead clown. But yeah, I don't know if she is going to go. So I have been pairing her basically quite a lot, basically for the last season, but the new season is literally right around the corner, so she might even go for this season, I don't know. But it's just another chance I've got basically of trying to hit a blackhead clown, which would be amazing. But yeah, this is the first female clown I ever bought. And yeah, she's done absolute wonders for me. She's done loads of clutches. So I'll quickly show you this girl. Now, if you watch my channel, you know I'm not a huge Pied fan. I think Pieds are very, I don't know, I'm not going to say too much because I'll probably pee a lot of people off. But yeah, Pieds, they're not really top of my list or anything, but I do own one, as you can see. I think she's absolutely gorgeous. I love the fact she's got these little speckles down, like little Dalmatian dots. She originally only had one when I got her as a baby. I got her about 4 years ago. She's taken her time, but she's finally up to a breeding weight. But yeah, I've actually paired her to a couple of things. I paired her to a mahogany. I started pairing off to a mahogany. I didn't really see many locks. There wasn't a lot of action at all. And then last minute, I chucked in my pastel blackhead het hypo. Again, I'm not too fussed on the het hypo side of it. If that does prove out further down the line, then happy days. But yeah, I'm not too fussed about that. But yeah. Going down this route, I was originally going to go for like the Sumer Pieds, just because they do look quite cool, I'm not going to lie. And then I've been seeing quite a lot of blackhead pied combos, so this is a great way to sort of get into that project, make it myself. She's quite a big girl, she's just under 2 kilos I believe. Now I haven't seen any, I have seen locks, that's a lie, I have seen a couple of locks. I haven't seen ovulate, but she has recently shed, and she has been off food for, I want to say, nearly 2 months now. And yeah, as you can see in her tub, she sort of cleared all the substrate out of the way, and she has been coiling up like this, and she does look quite plump underneath. So I'm quite hopeful that she's actually going to go. So this could be the very last. Even though I said this one was the last clutch, I think this could be my last clutch of the season, which would be quite a nice one to end on, because this is the only pied I've got. I've got no het pied stuff. It's literally just this one pied female. And yeah, I don't know why I bought her at the time. Yeah, it's just sort of a bit of an impulse. I think it's because she had that one, you see that little speck right there in the middle of the screen? That was the one speck, and it was tiny. It's probably about 2 scales worth. And I don't know why, but that just made me want to buy her. And yeah, over the years, she's just grown more and more speckles, which is nice. She's not too speckled. I think Justin Kabilka's got a pied like this, but it's completely covered in speckles. But yeah, I like the little speckling that she's got. And I'm hoping as she gets older and bigger, maybe she will get more. But I think one of the reasons I actually bought as well, she used to be super dark. So her head was almost jet black. She had pattern and stuff, same as this saddle, and she's got a little bit on her tail over there. All of this was dark, like extremely dark. And I think that was one of the reasons, because I like the dark jeans. I think that was one of the reasons why I bought her, just because she was so dark. But like over the last 2-3 months, she's been getting lighter and lighter. So I don't know if just because she is about to lay eggs, or she's brightening up because she's breeding, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what she looks like if she does lay eggs afterwards, see if she sort of darkens right down. But yeah, I'm really excited for this girl to lay. So yeah, that's basically what I've got on clutch wise. To be honest, for next season I'm not going to have too many pairings. A lot of my pairings basically decide on what I get from this clutch. I've just put in the incubator, and it'll also depend on if the original clown mum goes as well, because I want to try and hit a male blackhead clown if I can. And I've got 3 female adults that he's going to be going straight to once he's big enough. So yeah, a lot of my breeding now sort of depends on what I hatch in that clutch and the stuff that I've got growing up in the racks. A lot of the stuff I bought at the time, it was all just sort of, I wanted to get basically a bit of everything. Nothing too expensive, nothing too special or amazing, but I just wanted to build my foundations myself. I've said this for years, I wanted to make everything myself, if that makes sense, so I can look at an animal. So a lot of these drawers behind me, you can see on the racks, a lot of these tubs are animals that I've bought. Eventually I want to replace them animals with something that I've actually made myself. So these are all females behind me. I want them to be replaced by a female version of them that I've actually produced with my own animals I've produced, if that makes sense. So I can happily say and stand this rank and say, yeah, all of these animals I have produced myself. I know what's in them, I know where they've come from and things like that. So it's just more, I get more satisfaction out of it that way. But yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, I've got a few females that I don't really show that often. That's because I'm just waiting for that, basically. Again, none of them are going to be het for clowns, so I will be making those hets myself, but I've got some special stuff that I am quite looking forward to. So yeah, egg cutting coming in 55 days. I'm really excited for that. It's going to be the longest 55 days of my life, but yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed we get one and it will all be worth it, hopefully. And yeah, obviously we might get that other clutch from that pie as well, so that may be another egg pull-in, hopefully, maybe in a week or 2. But yeah, that's all I've got for you. So hopefully you've enjoyed that. Hopefully it's sort of shown you how I do stuff. If you haven't seen my channel before, you can see how I sort of run things. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one.